So the stuff in the greenhouse is doing really, really well. And the asparagus, I think we have 12 or 14 of them. Really tough to see, but they're there. Little guys down there. And the strawberries are doing well. We've got berries on this plant that need to ripen up. Berries on this plant that need to ripen up. It's still early. I mean, it's late June, so we got plenty of time for those guys. This raspberry is doing something funky. I think I need to prune that because it's shrubbing instead of vining. These guys are too. I kind of forget about these over here. They're kind of in the corner, neglected. The blueberry bed is in process of being taken apart and moved. I'll end where the new location for the blueberries are. Cauliflower that's in here doesn't look that bad, but the stuff in the greenhouse is like 10 times bigger than that. There's a blueberry that's going to get moved, and there's a blueberry that's going to get moved. So the first two plants have been dug up and transplanted, and when I dug them up, they actually separated into 2 plants each, so those 2 plants became 4 plants. I think the nursery must put them 2 to a container in case one dies, you still have a viable plant. But the top 4 or 5 inches of the soil is really good because we've been putting straw and mulch and manure and stuff on it, but you get much below that and it's just solid clay. What's up, buddy? Hi. Beefsteak with its arrangements of other stuff on the bottom is doing good. This bed has been funky all year. I lost some stuff in it due to a frost, and I've got some replacement plants in there, and they're looking kind of lime green. I think this bed might be over nutriented, but something's up with it. The other half of the bed's not planted yet. I have some seedlings starting, some seeds popping that are going to go in there. This side of the bed, plants are doing much better, growing faster, and there's potatoes on this side. This bed's going crazy. So there's onions in here everywhere, and then the little tiny stuff between the onions is spinach, and then the 3 varieties of cherry tomatoes, which really don't, these 2 don't look like they've grown much in the last week. This guy's gotten a little taller. My mistake here was the spinach that's growing in here is a high nitrogen feeder, and so are the tomato plants. So the trick is this, is I'm going to have to keep adding organic fertilizer to this so the tomatoes will produce, but I have to do it carefully so that I don't over nutrient them and burn them. But unfortunately, with probably 300 spinach seeds in there, there's no way I can unplant them, and I'm not moving the tomatoes. So being a little experiment, see what happens. Our on sale or clearance grapes from Tractor Supply, they're all doing well. I was worried about a couple of them for a while. They weren't doing anything, but we now have growth on all of them. This one on the end was slow to get going. And this guy on the end was slow to get going. I know, maybe it was this one, but doesn't matter. They all have leaves now. So we're going to start building boxes for them. Those are going at 3 and 3 in 2 separate raised garden beds with an arbor in the middle. The lettuce is at the beach with its beach umbrella. And it's doing. The stuff on the far end, either end. This end was carrots. There's some growing in there, but not as many as I planted. And this end had chives, all in this dead space. There's some growing in there, but limited. So I think I might plant spinach on either end of this bed, just to help shade everything in here. That's the newest addition. That's the seedling hut. Still not 100% finished, and there's no seedlings in it now. Still got a screen in the ends, peaks on either end. Hey, baby bunnies. Hey, guys. So I think they are coming up on 8 weeks old. And the chicken run is done. They're all hanging out in the shade. And this is about 10 or 12, maybe 14 feet wide. There's a chipmunk on that log. And it goes all the way down to that end, and then there's a little door on the end of the barn. I keep meaning to do a separate video on this, but it's a chicken run. It probably doesn't need its... You getting you through the fence, buddy? You getting you? And then this thing is going to be dismantled and taken apart. Right now we're just storing our tarps and greenhouse plastic in it. And now we're back over at the flower garden that's in progress over here. So we're still lining it with stones and figuring out the exact perimeter. We got our little pathway bridge, which is just a break in it that we were always walking through instead of walking around it. So we decided just to make it a permanent path, so we wouldn't plant anything there or ruin anything. But these are the blueberry transplants. So it's get him, buddy. Is he biting you? So this is a 27 by 27 inch planter box, obviously made from mismatched reclaimed wood. This plant is a Duke blueberry, and this one is a Duke blueberry. When I dug them up, when I planted them, they were one plant, but apparently it was two plants with roots tangled into one. But when I dug them up, they came out as two plants. And then the 4 blueberries on the corner are wild blueberries from the woods. I dug up their acidic soil that they were in, that we had previously amended. But the soil that they were in was clay, and it had been amended to make it acidic for the blueberries, but was terrible draining. So I think we were killing the roots by flooding them or having them stuck in sitting water. And then this is the second blueberry planter box, same dimensions, and this one was also a Duke blueberry. The strange thing is, when I dug this one up, it was 2 separate blueberries. And then I've also dug up 4 or 5 little wild blueberries from the woods. The strawberries that were all from runners from the strawberry bed, they're all doing well. This guy, the irises have started blooming. This guy finally had a runner that was long enough to reach down to the shelf, so I just tacked that in there with a little wire clip, and that'll become a strawberry plant in there. And we got a couple runners over here that I'm just waiting for them to get a little longer so I can do the same thing to them. And there's something else in this bed. Oh, those are tulips that we transplanted in that planter box. And that elderberry right there. That was an addition this year. It's doing good. Oh yeah. This was a wild blueberry that was just naturally growing here. This was not a transplant. This is the one that's but it's got little blueberries everywhere. There's more of them over here too. Oh, here's one right by my shoe. Blueberries on it. And this ugly thing, this is I think it's a 4x4 garden box that I've got to fill, and we're gonna move the next two blueberries in the line are both Jerseys, and whether they come out as one plant or 2 plants, all the Jersey varieties are going to go in here with some wild blueberries. And I think because this is going to be, it's just scrap wood down the bottom that I'm just leaving there. But this will be amended with acidic soil as well. And being that's a larger box, I think we're going to do a couple blueberries and some rhubarb in this one. And that's still going to leave me with 4 more plants that I have to dig up and make into 2 foot by 2 foot or 3 foot by 3 foot boxes. Easy, buddy. You never bark. Come here. Come here. Let me see your face. What are you doing? Huh? What are you doing? You being a goon? You being a goon with those chickens? And that is it for today.